You probably noticed that we will be having a dialogical homily or sermon with Felix. And as I was preparing for the service and discussing with Felix what we are going to talk about, I came across in the library with this. And kind of an ancient Bible, or
it does look quite old.
Sure, and we can get it on a monitor. Peter, can you? Oh, yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Because it is also fragile, but it is possible to open it, and this is called frontispiece, and that's a title page. We have it here, and it is very old. On the monitors you have it, and you can read there how old that book is. It is probably I would guess, Felix, that it is the oldest book in our church library. Can you read it for us?
Okay. Imprinted at London by Robert Baker, printer to the Queen's Most Excellent Majesty. 1600.
Oh, 1600. This is that book from the 1600, but that is not when that print was originally first done, this translation, I think. I believe that when we researched that together, we discovered it was...
I think 1560.
1560
when it was originally printed.
Yeah. And it was printed, it's called, and first published in Geneva. English Bible printed in Geneva. Would anyone in the congregation know where Geneva is and what kind of language they should speak? Youth.
I saw your hand first.
Who was the hand? That's Switzerland, and they speak French. Yes, correct. So how come that it is one of the oldest translation of the Bible into English? What do you think? They were exiles. They had to escape from Bloody Mary, and they escaped to Switzerland, Protestants, and they translated the Bible there. And so that is the reason it is called Genevan Bible. Yeah.
All right. So, as you mentioned, they traveled to Geneva to escape said tyrannical reign.
Yeah.
And can we get the print up on the screen, please?
Yes.
Lovely.
Oh, and we will ask now, let us move closer to the monitor. And I think that, and now we are like in a school. Will you help us? That side has it over there, so do you want to read? Anyone willing to read it for us? Not seeing that many. I can take a microphone and bring it to you. Oh, Jean-Luc, do you want to, or? No, the brother is making his...
Any volunteers?
Any volunteers?
Any at all. It doesn't even have to be right.
Oh, good. First will be the child, yeah. So, Jean-Luc. Yeah, you can come. Oh, come here, because we are all here, so... Do you want to use the pointer to show us what you are trying to read? Yeah. Oh, I will hold it for you, okay? And you can point.
25, but thus why the Lord?
Yeah, you are pretty close, yes.
Kevin, the captivity of the mighty shall be taken and the wrath of the tyrants shall be
Liver.
delivered, for will continue with them that conduct
With
with thee, and will fall the children.
Yeah, you are very, very close. This is absolutely amazing. I'm astonished.
That was very good.
That was, there were few tricky things which we can address together.
So
Felix, do you want to point those few?
here we go. This, but thus saith. This looks like an L, but it's called a long S.
Long S, yes.
And another example of a strange letter right here. The Lord, this is an R rotunda, is very much not used anymore.
Yeah, and it is like R, which is split in half, and that frontal part is kind of stylized into this kind of shape. You will find it in all different shapes. They were in use just for very few years, but it is, and there are other interesting parts in this Bible. Have you noticed? Anyone? That it has an archaic die and saith and these kind of things, which we know from King James Bible, but there are other things. Felix, will you help them?
Let's see.
Like be,
well,
for instance. Like be, to be.
Yes, that is.
Over here.
Yes, as you can see right here, there's one other place.
There is one more.
B has two E's. And there are, in instances, other places in this Bible, it's only got one E. And there are some words where will, and
Here it is correct.
and will, one L, two L's. And the main reason for this is in 1600, they hadn't really figured out how they wanted to write their language. This is just before the Shakespearean era, with early modern English is what this is called. And they really just hadn't quite figured it out yet. They hadn't decided on spelling. I mean, a decent number of people still didn't know how to read, so it wasn't always that big of a deal. But, like with the L, double L, single L, they really didn't know what they were doing. They were still trying to figure everything out.
Yeah, and I just recently, while we were preparing it together, I heard that William Shakespeare himself, when he was signing his plays, he signed his plays in 3 different spellings or 4 different spellings of his own name. Just imagine spelling your own name 4 different ways. So you see that it was unsettled. It was still in movement, and that is really. And then you have here some captivity, for instance, that's instead of captives. Captive, here it is captivity. Here I think that it is even, even, and so on. You can kind of make sense of it, but can we rotate into a little clear? Oh, here, we reset that into a regular computer typeface, kind of reflecting that old style. It is called black letter typeface or fracture. Fracture. Yeah. So now you prepared for me a question. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
one thing first. The stick. I have been reminded, this came from our household. This was my grandfather's when he was a little boy. It was old even then, but living in northern Scotland. Well, the stick lived in northern Scotland. He was visiting, and it used to be regular length of walking stick for an adult, but a farmer cut it down for him so he, as a little boy, could use it on long walks in the woods. So, as far as we can guess, this is more than 100 years old, because it was old when he got it.
Yeah, and
sticking with the old theme.
yes. Probably not as old as this Bible, but
no, I would say
quite
not.
old. Quite old, yeah. And now you prepared for me quite tough question, I think. Do you
yes.
want to?
Oh, yes, they're over here. Okay.
Here I am.
I'd see a good one. All right. So this copy was printed in 1600. The first published 1560, 51 years before the King James Version, that is quite popular. But it was one of the last, I could say, old Bibles to speak of tyranny. Yes. Why is that? And how is that important?
I think that it is important because here, I will point that for the congregation, that here is tyrant with that R rotunda over here, but here is tyrant, and tyrant is also here. And this was specifically reason why this Bible did not stay with us, and that King James insisted in new translation. Just
yes.
Imagine.
And
yeah.
He didn't like it so much, he banned it in 1616.
Yeah, so this Bible was banned by Church of England.
Yeah.
While
so,
it stayed living in America, and that's one of the reasons why we have here this copy. Maybe it was imported from Scotland because we were rebellious Presbyterians. And we insisted that we want that there. And King James, it took quite a while, King James Version, to find its footing among the Presbyterians. They would constantly insist on this Bible. And they were reading it, and pilgrims, for instance, and early settlers in America, they were reading from this Bible. Very few people actually know that. And this presence of a tyrant, this is Isaiah 49, chapter, verse 25. There is one more. And then tyrants appeared because they did something very, very unusual. This was a modern translation from Hebrew and from Greek, and it had an apparatus around it. They try to explain why they are translating the way they are translating, and so on. Yeah. And exactly these comments around made King James so uneasy and unhappy, because that word tyrant appeared there as well, that he wanted a new translation and commissioned that new translation. And that is also why it is important for us to look at it and be aware of our spiritual tradition and sharing it with Felix and with all of you. Because, friends, tyrants are still around us. And there are reasons to resist them. And it usually starts with censoring those names from the Bible or elsewhere. And that is why it is so important for all of us to really insist on freedom of religion and freedom of expression as well. And so I think that Felix, do you have any other question as our...
I think people might be getting a little bit bored, so
Yeah.
this is taking a while, so I think we can move on.
But after the worship, you can come and have a look, but gently, because it is really, and you will see that this is really, really made very, very large. You will not believe how small print it actually is.
Smaller than the Pew Bibles.
Smaller than Pew Bibles. There were some people who complain about our Pew Bibles. So, go back into our ancestors of faith and you'll see even smaller in black letters. So thank you very much.